How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. I have never been so happy to be proven wrong. The Rangers extend the series and they stay alive. Pittsburgh still leading the series 3-2, but the Rangers have a little momentum in their favor. If they can win Game 6 and make it to Game 7, I'll be happy if they lose. I'm happy now if they end up losing in 6 on Friday. Yes, that's going to sting, but it's way better than losing in 5, which they did not do. If they lose in 7, great series. I think we can forgive partially what happened in games 3 and 4 if they do make it to 7. If they win the series, all is forgiven. I'm just going to be a happy camper, happy as a clam over here. The lineup, very interesting lineup choice. It did not inspire confidence when I first saw that the Rangers were going with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. And they didn't even end up playing Nemeth at all. I don't think he played a single shift tonight. He just sat on the bench the entire time. So Hunt is out. Lindgren is back in the lineup, and he ends up scoring the empty net at the end, which I completely forgot to write on the board, because I was just so excited they won. So let's hop into it. 24 seconds into the game, we start off really well, and Kreider and Trouba both take penalties at the same time. Kreider is slashing, Trouba and elbowing. So 24 seconds into the game, Pittsburgh gets a 2-minute 5-on-3 power play. So things are going well, but a great penalty kill by the Rangers. Lafreniere and Trouba both with big hits after that. The first shot of the game for the Rangers came 7 minutes into the game from Lafreniere, but throughout those 7 minutes, the Rangers were possessing the puck more than Pittsburgh. So even though they didn't have any shots on goal, at least they weren't getting outpossessed by Pittsburgh. The fourth line, which at the time had Lafreniere on it because they were rotating 11 forwards, so different players kept creeping into that fourth line. They have a good shift about halfway through the period, and then at 10:28, Gensel scores a goal. He gets a rebound, the bounces behind the net, he goes to grab it, and he ends up banking it into the goal off of Shesterkin's pad. It's a really greasy goal, really not much Shesterkin could do about it. It's just one of those goals. It doesn't go our way. So Pittsburgh is up 1-0. Pittsburgh pushes even more after that goal. Now it's kind of evenly matched. The Rangers did have the ice tilted in their favor the first part of the period, but the Rangers were starting to tip it back second half of the first period. Second line gets the puck into the crease during the second half of this period. Rangers generating more chances late into the period. So they start well, Pittsburgh pushes back, but then the Rangers push back and start getting back into form towards the end of this first period. Hedl has a chance in front during the final minute. We get to the end, shots 11-10 in favor of the Rangers. No tough shots for Domingue. He wasn't really tested in the first period. Not much sustained offensive zone pressure from either team, but a lot of hitting. Rangers, I think, had 18 hits in the first period alone. They had 32 in the game, so over half of their hits came in the first period. They just came out hitting everything, really trying to get some momentum early to stay alive in this series. Choppy start to the second period, a lot of stoppages, no sustained offense for either team, both teams trying to find their footing. 4.5 minutes in, Panarin has a feed in front and gets slashed by Carter. No call. There were several no calls by the refs tonight, but I won't harp on that too much. There was 3. I'll harp on it just a little bit. There was 3 missed penalty calls against Pittsburgh, within 60 seconds of each other. Just the refs playing with blindfolds for the first part of the second period. 6.5 minutes in, Pittsburgh doesn't have a single shot on goal in the second period. Lindgren looks hurt. He goes to the locker room, but he would return later in the game. So Braun gets moved up with Fox. And then at 7:58, Letang scores a goal, and it is now 2-0 Pittsburgh almost halfway through the game. And at this point, I was feeling rather defeated. It was an odd man rush, and it was the first shot on goal of the period for Pittsburgh. It just goes to show a team like Pittsburgh, they don't need to shoot the puck a lot because they're going to get goals. Rangers a couple of chances about halfway through, and then they start pushing. 6.5 minutes left in the second period. Crosby goes to the locker room and he would not return for the rest of the game. Now, I can be a Debbie Downer and say that was a main reason the Rangers won tonight, but I won't. I won't say it's a main reason. It definitely helped. I'm not going to lie and say it didn't help. Of course it helps when the other team's best player isn't playing. But I do think the Rangers played a lot better tonight than they had in the previous 2 games. So credit where credit is due. But Crosby not being on the ice did help. Zucker has a takeaway in the Rangers zone, and he takes it to the net. That would have been an embarrassing goal. Lindgren's back on the bench. And then at 15:11, we start the onslaught of Rangers goals. Fox at 15:11, the best shift of the game for the Rangers, just controlling, great passes, cycling the puck in the offensive zone. Fox ends up scoring from the top of the circle. And then 1 minute and 30 seconds later, Lafreniere scores a goal. Kakko had a beautiful pass from behind the net out front to Lafreniere, who all he had to do was just punch it right in. Domingue had no chance on that one. And then 1 minute and 12 seconds later, Trouba scores a goal. He just dances his way to the slot. The backhand fools Domingue, slides in 5-hole. And in the span of, 2 minutes and 42 seconds, the Rangers take the lead in the game, 3-2. But that lead would only last 13 seconds because at 18:06, Gensel would score a goal, tying the game at 3. It was a rare Shesterkin misplay. He plays the puck, but he plays it awkwardly. It ends up with the Penguins. Gensel ends up with the goal because we can't have nice things. Shots 12-6 in favor of the Rangers in that second period. Rangers held the Penguins to 6 shots in the second period, but the game is tied 3-3. 1 minute and 8 seconds into the third period, Pettersson takes an interference penalty, and the Penguins were not happy with that call. But since I'm a Rangers fan, I loved that call because at 2:53, Hedl scored what would be the game-winning goal on the power play, his first career playoff goal. It was a broken play, but it gets back to Hedl. He's alone, 15 feet from the goal. He snipes it into the net. Malkin and Gensel collide, and that leads to a Rangers 4-on-1 where Kreider has a great shot from the slot, but Domingue ends up grabbing it with the glove. Second line has a great shift shortly after that, and then things start getting really chippy. Lindgren is boarded, and then Fox is intertwined with Rodriguez. So playoff reffing, doing this a lot, letting them play, missing some calls that if this was a regular season game probably would have been called, but it's the playoffs, so you let the guys play. Shesterkin, great save on a slap shot, keeping the game 4-3. 6:57, Strome takes an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And then there's a stoppage halfway through that penalty kill. Shesterkin had some problems with his mask. 8:39, Shesterkin stops the puck, and then the lines come together. Lindgren and Malkin grab each other. They fall to the ice. They take offsetting roughing penalties. As they're headed to the box, Gensel punches Fox in the back of the head, so he also gets a roughing penalty. So 3 roughing penalties at 8:39. Lindgren, Gensel, Malkin. It's 4-on-4 for 19 seconds because Strome is still in the penalty box. And then the Rangers get 1 minute and 39 seconds of power play time. Solid pressure throughout that entire power play, but they would not be able to convert. Great save by Shesterkin after. And then at 12:38, Malkin takes a second roughing penalty. It is no secret in this league that if you can get Malkin pissed off, he's going to take bad penalties. And that's exactly what happened tonight. Very good power play, but they would not be able to score. Rangers keep pushing afterwards. Pittsburgh does show a little bit of life towards the end of this game. Domingue to the bench with 90 seconds. Pittsburgh takes a timeout with 1 minute left. And then at 19:44, Lindgren tosses the puck out of the zone. It bobbles off of Gensel's hand as he tries to bat it down, scoots into the empty net. That's at 19:44. And the Rangers would win Game 5, 5-3, staving off the Pittsburgh victory. The Rangers have 2 more games to win. And when you say it like that, it seems a little more plausible than the Rangers have to win 3 games in a row. Game 1, check. They have 2 more games to win. Yes, they have to play in Pittsburgh on Friday, which will be a tall order. This series has not been kind to the Rangers when they go to Pittsburgh. But if they can pull off a win in Game 6, they come back to the Garden for Game 7 with all of the momentum on their side. If they can make it to Game 7, I don't see a reason why they lose this series. I really don't. I think Game 6 is going to be harder to win than Game 7. So if they can pull something off Friday night, I think this series is theirs to lose. Stats at the end of the game: shots 34-32 in favor of the Rangers. Face-off 32.8%. Rangers still losing the lion's share of face-offs. Tonight it didn't matter so much because they were able to stymie the Penguins' offense straight off of a face-off win, which was very nice. Power play went 1 for 3, hits 32-24 in favor of the Rangers, blocks 19-12 also in favor of the Rangers. The trivia question of the evening: who was the last Rangers defenseman with a 4-game playoff point streak? Fox now has a 5-game playoff point streak, but who was the previous Ranger to do a 4-game playoff point streak defenseman? And I actually got this question right for once, so way to go. It was Ryan McDonough, who had a 5-game playoff point streak in 2014. So there you go. Rangers are back in action Friday in Pittsburgh. The most important game of the series Friday night, and we'll see if the grit, determination, and heart that they had tonight will extend into Friday. We'll see if Crosby plays next game. I'm sure if the injury is nothing serious, he will play, even if he is slightly injured. That's just how these things work in the playoffs. But if he's out of the lineup, that's just another reason why the Rangers should be able to win Game 6. But we'll see what happens. An exciting win. I'm so pumped, and I can't wait until Friday night. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next rundown.